Pasne mandu, gare pas. Would like to welcome you to this historic press conference by the war veterans. I think it is important that the world knows that the revolutionaries can only differ in stature, sometimes in the construction of the sentences, in interpreting the principles of the revolution, but their meaning will always be the same. So really today, we welcome you to this historic press conference. To us, it is a victory for the war veterans and the people of Zimbabwe, because the war veterans are the army of the people. The marriage between the war veterans and the masses dates back to when the people of Zimbabwe made a strategic retreat in 1896-93. And today, again, here we are. Allow me, therefore, to introduce to you those in front here. Probably it's not necessary to introduce them by name, but all of them are members of the national and the provincial executives of the war veterans across the country. They have come here to witness this moment, which is very important to us. And as I speak, allow me therefore again to introduce to you the National Secretary General of the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association, who will address the press conference today. Comrade Matema Dana. Amandla. Ladies and gentlemen, what I am going to say is based on the two constitutions. One, the National Constitution, and the Zanu-PF Constitution, which we felt has been thrown in the dustbin. Hence, the effort that you are seeing of restoring constitutionalism, law and order, and humanism. The Constitution of Zimbabwe, unlike the Lancaster House Constitution, this Constitution was written by all the political parties of Zimbabwe and all the people, including churches and many organizations. So it is a constitution that represents the will of the people of Zimbabwe. And it is in this constitution that we have a section that empowers the defense forces to take appropriate action to defend national security, sovereignty, and human life. What Zimbabwe has been sliding into was a state of chaos. And for that reason, war veterans here do stand with the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, save for those that have been used by the G40 cabal. They are known. The police has been harassing people willy-nilly because they've been wanted.
abused by the G40 cabal, and it is time for them to reform. I now read the statement. This statement's theme is bringing Zanu-PF and Zimbabwe back to constitutionalism. We, the veterans of National Liberation War, would like to state as follows. We applaud the gallant role taken by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces in defense of Zimbabwe's constitution to normalize the situation within the ruling Zanu-PF. We urge that Zanu-PF returns quickly to constitutionalism and sets aside all the dismissals that were instigated by Kasukuwere on all progressive people, especially this purging was focusing mostly on people with a liberation history. Therefore, we are saying that all people that were expelled or suspended because of the G40 cabal from the Central Committee, provinces, districts, and some ordinary members, which were dealt with and procedurally by the so-called National Disciplinary Committee. This should be reversed by the Central Committee of Zanu-PF as it stood a day after the December 2014 Congress. We urge that as the Central Committee reconvenes, it should quickly embrace and institutionalize the idea of the War Veterans League as a fourth wing of the Revolutionary Party. The vanguard role of the war veterans, war collaborators, detainees should be reinstated and upheld. But it is fundamental for you for me to tell you that even before that is done, we sit here as the Darere Chumurenga. The Central Committee should immediately establish a commission of inquiry into Robert Gabriel Mugabe, especially during the time he was in the leadership position of the party. Why he decided to join and work with anti-revolutionary elements of this country. Why he has chosen either to expel or to ignore those that defended him, fought and defended him during the war and even after the war. Why he decided with his wife to denigrate the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and the war veterans, war collaborators and detainees. Why he chose to have friends only associated with the Rhodesia regime. Why he chose to associate even with Jonathan Moyo. Knowing very well that Jonathan is a CIA agent. Why he chose to ignore Vice President Mnangagwa's report in response to what Jonathan is alleged to him. We urge that Robert Gabriel Mugabe should be recalled from his role as the president and first secretary of Zanu-PF. This is not the first time that we are doing this. We did this to Ndabaningi Stole, who had lesser crimes. We want to make it very clear that offenses that have been committed by Robert Gabriel Mugabe are much worse than those alleged to have been committed by Ndabaningi Stole. We urge all people within the party, especially the youths and the Women's League, to support this great initiative to return the party to constitutionalism. How do you have a political party that is fronted by wings instead of the main wing? The Women's League becomes bigger than the main wing. The Youth League becomes both the leading arm and also the army. Because if Kutsijipanga can threaten the Zimbabwe Defense Forces with the war, then he is not a leader of the youths, he is a commander of an army that we do not know. And for that, he must be brought to book. But what worries us is why the president allowed a person to have a quasi-military in a state that has got an army. Because by not reprimanding Kudzi, he agreed that Kudzi in fact leads an army. We urge all political parties in Zimbabwe to support a return to normalcy in the country to avoid any violent inclinations. The Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association recognizes that all the political parties in Zimbabwe recognize and respect, uphold the role that was played by war veterans, war collaborators, and war detainees. And therefore, we do not have a reason to have them as enemies. So when we say we want to have normalcy in the running of this country, we also want to facilitate good and proper running of political parties in the forthcoming elections. So the army is there to restore order and sanity. And like I've said, this has been long overdue. And we support that from the bottom of our hearts. The youths are encouraged to respect state institutions that are mandated to do particular duties in accordance with the law of the land. This country is not run by the Zanu-PF Youth League. It must be clear. Zanu-PF Youth League is not an arm of government, and therefore they should respect the institutions that are mandated to do whatever duty, responsibility they are tasked to do. And for a mayor youth who has got a history of changing goals, one day she is Gamma Talks, the other day is the first born of Grace Mugabe, when Nichatunga is there to challenge a 5-star general. It's unheard of. And we think he did this because of the normal bootlicking that had become the order of politics in Zanu-PF, which should come to an end forthwith. We cannot end without mention of a job well done by the Commander Defense Forces and the Commander of the Army and the Air Force, officers and men, women, and all those that have to do with the Defense Forces for a job well done. Zimbabwe belongs to us, and what has been done is for Zimbabwe.
Christopher Joburg, WhatsApp audio.
We call upon all sections of our security forces to emulate the example of the ZDF. They should shun the practices of yesterday, where some were used by Kasukwere Kabao to arrest and prosecute innocent revolutionaries whose only crime was to oppose the state capture. As I speak, the police has not cleared our 18th November Indawa for fictitious reasons, and let it be known to them that the meeting is going on. If people in the ZRP have got the Rhodesian mentality, we have crossed over to Zimbabwe. They should come and provide security if they want, but they cannot stop us. So we are going to continue with our meeting, and like I've said, the Central Committee is going to convene for the purposes of realigning the party, bringing the party back to constitutionalism. And if they are Zanu-PF enough, they should also applaud the role taken by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. It is true that the freedom fighters are stakeholders of the goings on in Zimbabwe, not from a dictatorial point of view, but from a legal, social, and political point of view. There must be involvement of all and the respect of all the systems. I cannot add on what the Commander Defense Forces and General Moyo also said. We go along with all that they have said. We ask the ZBC to be very patriotic this time. They should stop to be a partisan or a factional station. You know, they did not beam the press statement of the Commander Defense Forces. Of course, we know they've been getting orders, but we know the conditions under which some people have been working, but we are trying to bring things to normal. And let it be known that when you are reporting, there is no military takeover. This is why we are calling on the Central Committee to do its duties. This is why we say civil servants should continue their duties and work. But what we only encourage is that people should not align themselves with factions. Otherwise, when that faction is no more, you don't have where to go. Even here today, we are seeing new faces, even among ourselves. This thing of aligning and realigning is not proper. Let us be real. Because this war we are fighting is scientific. The truth will never die. Icho! I've said all the political parties should embrace this. They should support this move, because we anticipate a situation after this where there will be inclusivity, because no one person, no one political party can solve our problems. So we want political convergence. We don't want Chindinism. We want people who are prepared to work together. And like we have said, all those people that were fired, expelled unconstitutionally, including in Nengo, Zedare Chimurenga, Banaru Gare Gumbo, it was very unconstitutional. Because being Mudare Chimurenga, you cannot be fired by a person who came after you. Yeah, would sing it, master, or man, which go. Zimbabwe ndedu ndisu nemwi tinogona kuivaka, ndisu nemwi tinogona kuidestroy. Hazvinei kuti tingakore mari dzakabikwa tinenge tiri. But if we are not responsible, we will destroy our country. There is no reason to panic. You have seen soldiers are moving around, they are not talking to anyone, they are doing their duties. Don't provoke them. And for social media, I cannot kumanyisa nema, munetsa kuti vanhu vaite react kunema zvikakwadzisa. Thank you.
Well, I think it has been very clear. It looks like I will only ask for questions as a formality, but I think not one person has misunderstood the point, because this has been very clear.
Where is President Mugabe? What is happening to him? Do you fear the government addresses now?
You have been told to go to work. This is why you are here, because the government is in place. And you have never bothered in your life to know where the president is any day. Why today?
Second one from this other side. Your name, please, and your organization. Any questions?
No question.
Chidza?
Previously, you indicated that the war veterans would want to be apolitical and not align themselves to any political party. But you seem to be indicating a reversal of that by demanding a return to Zanu-PF and the clean structure that would be called the War Veterans League. Can you clarify on that?
Every political party in Zimbabwe today has got a War Veterans League. It is not necessarily myself, but if I choose to go there as an individual, I go. I don't go there as the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association. So it's different. Every person is a political animal. They should be aligned somewhere, but they don't take their organizations into that political party.
So the association remains apolitical?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.